Greetings, everybody. We are here in a really interesting series. We are watching Lalush, the Zerg player on the left, going to go up against roxkisBratOK, the Terran player on the right. This is going to be a great game. Both these guys are so good. We have a best of 5 for you today, a 5-game series, and I am excited for this. These guys are both incredible players. Right now, I'm playing on Shattered Temple, and I am so excited for this turn of events, as this map is going to be great. Now, BratOK is someone I definitely want to talk about, and he is one of the best Brood War players in the foreign scene for a very long time. He competed in, I want to say, both of the first 2 Brood War TSLs that Team Liquid did hold. And he definitely showed to be an incredibly strong player, just getting there in the first place. And then some amazing games were played in that. I actually have them downloaded on my computer, so I can watch them whenever I like. And these guys are so strong. And ZVT is a very interesting matchup. A lot of crazy things that happen. So much just splash damage in general with banelings and siege tanks and mutalisks and harassment. And you have so much movement going on. To be good in this matchup on either side is just such a great indicator of your multitasking capabilities, because there is so much that goes on. Especially as Zerg, you need to spread creep and keep spreading creep, because it just gets scanned and killed so very much. I know players like Kyle, actually, all for one game is Kyle, just hates creep. He just destroys it whenever he can, and it's kind of funny. I was talking to him once, and he was just like, yep, he hates it, and it was just amusing hearing what he was saying. So now, Lalush is a player that you definitely want to keep an eye on. One of the top Zergs out there. I do not know what the M does not equal thing. I'm assuming that that's his team. However, I can't make that fancy symbol, so I just have it as Lalush over there on the left. So now Lalush's national expansion has gone down before his pool. So there's a hatchery first build coming out of him, and I am hoping that BratOK is not going to something like a 2-react. It does not seem like that is the case. He is just basically playing with a very stable build of his own. Start off with no gas, interestingly enough. We're seeing the command center, now be more than Orbital Command, but without this gas, we could be seeing a no gas fast command from him, similar to what we just watched with Everrise and all of Everise's games, well, almost all of his games in the CASL. Now, you guys actually don't know about that. It's the Canadian Starcraft League. It's really cool. New league that's being made for Canada. I'm actually casting for that too, so I'm definitely excited to be watching that come out, as well as these amazing games that we're watching in this 5-game series. So now, Lalush has his spawning pool going down. He's continuing to drone up a fair bit, and we are seeing the command center being thrown down by BratOK. So it is going to be a no gas expand from him, which is going to be great. We're just going to be seeing a great macro game, as we're seeing command centers and hatcheries and there we're seeing the first gas being thrown down, second gas being thrown down as well. So BratOK is actually double gassing. He might be trying to get out factory as fast as he possibly can. I don't think he has any marine. Are there any marines? There's one marine on the field somewhere, and this SV is running around the main base over there. But where is BratOK's marine? That is something I definitely want to know. There is finally going to run around to try and take out this drone. It looks like that will be the case, as that drone is actually not going to be the case. That drone's running away. But stop moving. Looking for BratOK's to be able to micro kill it off. But Lalush going to try and keep it alive, but BratOK's going to be trying to corner it around. This is an interesting dance of the worker versus the marine, and the marine does emerge victorious, and it would have just been waiting for his friend as well. So either way, BratOK is really actually showing to be a very strong player. And actually, interestingly enough, I still have the CASL overlay on this, so I'm going to actually have the CASL advertisement happening right now on this cast accidentally, but that's not a big deal at all, as Lynn's going to run around, and we are seeing the factory being thrown down as fast as it could without being seen by that drone. So BratOK, even though for the double gas, not able to use it initially, and there's no wall. These Lyns could run in if they wanted to, but without speed, they will be dealt with fairly easily. We'll see if BratOK can actually use this barracks to actually float down and get an add-on for the factory. Yes, it will. Tech Lab going to be getting either Infernal Preignitor Hellions or Siege Tanks with Siege Mode if he really wants to. Both are just so viable and so powerful against Lings and Banelings that it's either way, it's going to be a great move for BratOK. We're going to see if Lalush is actually going to go for a Mutiling Baneling type of build, but it does seem that he's just going to go ahead and continue to drone up, staying on a hatchery tech for now. We could see some Spine Crawlers. Yes, Spine Crawlers for defense. No Roach Form being thrown down just as a preemptive thing. He does need gas for that, and he has some guys back onto this gas. He actually has not started researching Metabolic Boost quite yet. Looks like he's trying to delay that as long as he can. Spine Crawler is getting approaching completion, but BratOK's base is now up. I want to actually see see if Lalush is actually aware of the fact that this was built, and yes, he has seen this. There is actually an Overlord over here with beautiful placement, not going to be able to be seen until either a flying unit or a scan comes in. Lalush could easily just sacrifice this into the main base and watch BratOK as he goes to produce these multiple barracks for his gameplay. We're seeing Stim and Siege Mode both being researched. A tank is actually being built as well. I wonder if it's going to pop out on the eye side. Doesn't seem like it's going to be blocked off at all, so good for BratOK in that respect. We're seeing a third gas being thrown down, but does BratOK actually have enough SCVs to get the formidable and actually be able to utilize it? I don't think so. Only 30 SCVs compared to the 38 drones on the field, which means that BratOK is not going to be in the best position to actually have the fourth gas being mined right now. So we're seeing Lalush get his lair at the moment and getting a Roach Warren out in front to help his Sim City. This is actually a very vulnerable Roach Warren, especially to any siege tanks that are going to try and pressure the front. And Lalush has not started spreading creep. We're seeing a Baneling nest being thrown down, so it looks like it will be Mutiling and Baneling coming out of Lalush, but whether it's going to be useful or not, it remains to be seen as this Roach Warren could just be functioning to try and defend against possible Hellions coming in, but that won't be the case. BratOK could continue to produce his tanks, get out of his Marine count, and try and increase his Army count. There is a starport that is just not completing. Will it actually utilize one of his reactors, or is trying to start producing a medevac? Yes, medevac is now on the way. May just stay without an add-on and just produce one medevac at a time, but we're seeing that lane just got destroyed. But that does reveal the fact that these tanks are on the field with siege mode, which is going to be probably force Lalush to try and take a third base as opposed to putting on pressure. He could go ahead and get his Spire out to try and really do as much pressure as he can, and it actually is doing that. Spire is being produced behind the natural expansion where the lair actually is. So Lalush actually tried to get his lair up as natural expansion in order to make sure that he can tank as much damage as he can with this lair. This link is out in the front. We're going to make sure we get to see any pushing out from BratOK's ground units. We are seeing that this initial medevac with these Marines are going to actually take out this link. He might just go up, take down the watchtower, and try and force the units out of Lalush, as Lalush has been able to drone up a fair bit. 50 drones are out for him, 42 SCVs are out for BratOK, so he's looking to be fairly stable. We could see some vomiting happening with this queen fairly soon, I would definitely hope, as he does have enough energy for that. But I really want to say the creeping spread, and just now is starting. That's the only creep tumor on the field. That is a very weak creep spread, and it looks like all those lings are getting taken out. Stim on the Marines, and this Destructive Rocks just being close to being taken out, but not so. So Lalush wants to get up that base, but it looks like he's not going to get the gold out. And is BratOK going to go ahead and do a drop? It looks like he very well might. Lalush seems to be aware of that possibility as he runs lings up to try and see if BratOK's going to be doing that. He's going to go over and see if there is no third base in the top left, and it looks like that might be his cue to... nice. Loading off in this very protected spot is a very good move. He's going to be able to stim and run down behind these spine crawlers, but this Evo Chamber is actually doing a great job of funneling the Marines into the spine crawlers range. The Marines will not be able to run into the left. And now we're seeing the initial batch of mutants going to go in, and now Ling's going to go ahead and try and take out units. Only one medevac, only one Marine actually gets taken out, but now enough mutants are out there. This medevac's going to go down, and all the Marines as well. Dropping the Marines down one at a time means that the mutants do not take that much damage, so that was a failed drop from BratOK, and we're seeing the food count actually to be in favor of Lalush. All of these lings are now going to run around, try to do a little bit of scouting. Again with the ling down in the front, going to watch, see if anything is moved out. BratOK actually cannot see it. And now, oh no, there goes the Overlord over here as BratOK has the medevac to go ahead and scout that. Which is actually going to supply block Lalush. Whereas if he needs to actually start doing some attacking with the mutants, there we are. We are seeing 13 mutants going to be able to run around and start attacking the mineral lines of BratOK. Because BratOK right now is still staying on 2 bases, as he's going to probably just try and just do as much damage as he can. But Thor is on the field. Oh god, Lalush blunched up his mutants. Taking the splash damage from the Thor is really, really bad. And it looks like 2 mutants do fall. The Thor definitely going to be useful in that... is definitely going to allow the Thor to really be effective to actually take down those mutants. You can see that a lot of those mutants actually did not need to be damaged. Lalush could have just pulled back and been perfectly okay. So now we're seeing this hatchery at the gold is getting close to completion, so Lalush is about to have basically 3.5 bases with that gold income. It's really going to help him especially get that link count very, very high. So seeing transfer of a few drones, only 5. He actually could just go ahead and initially saturate it just to make sure that he has as much income as he can. He's actually rallying every single one of his hatcheries and researching burrow to actually get the gold saturated as fast as he can without transferring drones. He could be keeping the ideal 16 or so. Yeah, he's actually got more than 16 at his main, and he's got more than 16 as natural as well. So he's definitely got a healthy saturation of those drones at each one of the bases. 5th and 6th extractors are going down. It looks like Braddock's being ready to take his own gold, as he's got siege tanks in a very good defensive position, good defensive spread as well, and a missile turret in the front. Just doesn't want to fall prey to any roach burrow shenanigans. As that roach warren is out, and he should actually be aware of the roach warren, but we're going to see actually some harassment coming in with those mutas. We're going to actually kill off one of the mutas with the missile turret. That is rather unfortunate for those and their whole trying to live thing. So now Braddock is going to continue to try and take this out. He actually has the orbital command, not a planetary fortress, so he is definitely feeling like he's ahead enough to actually be able to not have to get a planetary fortress at this third. So it's actually a risky move on his part, but it could pay off. Overlords are running around, probably going to go ahead and try and scout this base back here, see if Braddock does end up going for that. So Braddock's going to be able to drop down a lot of mules. You can actually see his orbital commands actually have a lot of mules saved up. He just drop and fill off every single one of those mineral patches. And he's getting up a 4th orbital command or command center of his own. Now Lalush has these 3 bases up and running, but he's equal on bases with Braddock, which is not good for him. But actually, just to say that, he throws down this base and is getting ready to get down the next 7th and 8th Vespine geysers to make sure he can get as much gas as he can. All of these creep numbers are now beginning to spread, so Lalush's creep spread is going to be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and actually have a spine crawler go very, very high in terms of, or very, very far out in terms of this middle of the map. So now there we are seeing a lot of the drones actually beginning to mine already. Looks like Lalush is feeling good in the saturation. Definitely got at the very right number of drones saturating the gold base to get as much income as he can with 3 in each of these guys. It's a great move from his part. Now he does have the +1 attack for his mutas. He doesn't have the carapace or +2 researching quite yet. Now this is a huge force from Braddock. Tanks, Marines, and the Thors in the mix. This is going to be very hard. And we're seeing a lot of explosions down there with burrow banelings on top of those units, but it was not the burrow banelings that you would really like to have hitting those units. It just was not effective hitting most of the tanks, and just not as effective that really Lalush really wanted to do. As he says, he is behind right now. Braddock's at 171 for 152 for Lalush. This is really looking bad for Lalush. All of these creep tumors are there waiting to be spread, but one scan and they will be going down. Lalush even still has this spy card down there, and Braddock is completely aware of it. He's seeing his entire ling mass over there inside the range, and they're actually hearing this huge force of 9, it's not huge force, but 9 banelings are being morphed. Definitely going to want to hit those Marines. You are seeing a scan taking out all of those turrets. All those turrets, apparently creep tumors are not turrets, but all these banelings are now on the mix. They do have some triple hooks, and they're on creep. They will be able to catch up to the Marines, even with the Marines stemming. Marines moving at a little over 3 with the stem, and you can see that these creep tumors, with the spraying of the creeps, and allow these banelings to move even faster than that with almost 4 for their movement speed. A lot of banelings on the field waiting to get that good crunch on all these Marines and siege tanks. If they can do that, then they will really be able to benefit Lalush and Lalush trying to take out this army, but the Thors will take a ton of hits from those banelings and lings. Assuming these siege tanks do stay alive, I get to pick off a lot of the lings and everything. But all of these, the Marines are just decimating these mutalisks. They're going down in numbers. They just got aggroed in, and they're now going to see a surround on this initial siege tank, and all the banelings are just going to move in and hit the siege tank. But Lalush just did a perfect surround on all the units from Braddock and just took them out. But Braddock has done a lot of damage with this push. The 4th base is now up and running for Lalush, and we're seeing that a draw from Braddock is going to be ready to move in, so we're taking down this Overlord as well as this base, as Braddock is taking control of the center of the map. More tanks and everything are going to start sieging up and holding this base down and taking a few hits on those units over there. Lalush right now has +1/+1 for his ground units, while Braddock is at +2 for his tanks. That's a lot of damage. +2 his Marines as well. Not even bothering, but the banelings do get a nice hit on a lot of those Marines. The siege tanks were not sieged up in time to take them out before they were able to enclose the gap with those Marines. So Lalush is in a little bit of a rough spot right now. We can see the unit station is showing 75 jumps, which is great, but now he's got to get the army out in order to deal with these forces. But no, the mutas are moving in, and they're just going and getting decimated. And the Banelings do get a good surround, hitting a lot of the Marines on the spread, but even more Marines from Braddock are back here just waiting to do so much damage. This missile turret actually manages to take out a muta as well. Look at the health on those two mutas. They are literally 2 health and 6 health. That is so bad for him. Creep is really starting to recede as creep tumors were destroyed by Braddock, and Braddock is really looking to be in a good spot. Continuing to creep up with missile turrets as well as tanks and everything. Those 2 mutas did go down. They only had single digit health, so you're not going to have to be able to survive for very long. And ooh, rally point muta is actually going to fall, and now Lalush wants to get this around. He's got Lings preparing to flank, and more mutas are going down. Braddock has been able to just keep the muta count very minimal. 6 mutas are out, but they are not in a very good position to do much. Lalush has an infestor on the field, but he needs to start getting bubble growth. He already used one, so it doesn't have enough energy to really get another one down. But this one muta is actually doing a good job of taking out that last Marine standing. But these Banelings need to actually not be hit by Braddock's tank. They're actually in range of it as they're morphing, and Braddock is continuing to creep up with his missile turret. Look at the missile turret line that he has created. It is being perfect to make sure that nothing burrowed and no mutas can actually run in. So Braddock's now sieging the gold. Lalush needs this gold up. He needs that income. He just needs to produce more than Braddock. And right now he is really falling behind. And he actually calls GG as Braddock's slow push has proven to be too deadly for him. And now Braddock is actually going to go up 1-0 in this 5-game series. So great game coming from him. And we'll see Lalush come back from behind.